We are glad to welcome you to our channel. Kindly subscribe to our channel and share our videos with your friends and relations. And click on the bell icon for instant notification whenever new videos are uploaded on this channel. Rest assured that we are going to have a very exciting and inspiring discussion. Let's dive into the lesson right away. Hello everyone, welcome back to English Classes Online. Today we are going to learn the best tips for writing a good letter in the West African Senior School Certificate Examination and indeed in other English exams. This video lesson will enable you to learn the simple steps in writing a good formal letter in any English exam. So our focus in this episode is on writing a formal letter, and you are going to learn how to effectively communicate your thoughts and ideas in a structured and professional manner. So let's get started right away. Let's begin with the lesson objectives. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the following. 1, what is a formal letter? 2, what are the features of a formal letter? 3, steps to take in writing a formal letter. And 4, writing a sample letter by solving a past question. Okay, so these are the objectives we want to achieve in this lesson. Okay, let's begin with the first basic question. What exactly is a formal letter? A formal letter is an official letter. It is a letter you write to someone who occupies an official position in order to get something done or to achieve a specific result. All right? So once you are writing to someone that occupies an official position, then that's an official letter, and so it's a formal letter. Before we begin crafting our letter, it's necessary to know the features of a formal letter, because to build a good house, you must know the exact structure you are going to erect. Similarly, you must know the exact structure of a formal letter by learning the parts or features that make up the structure. So let's now begin with number 1, your address and date. 2, designation and full address of the person you are writing to. 3, the salutation or greeting, such as dear sir or dear madam. Number 4, the title of the letter. 5, the message or the body of the letter. Then number 6, the subscription or complimentary clause. Number 7, your signature. Number 8, your full name. Of course, preferably beginning with surname and followed by the first name. And then if you occupy an official position, in case you are representing a body such as a society, if you are writing on behalf of a club or an organization or a company, then you need to state your official position. Okay, so that's exactly all about the features. Now let's begin to look at the steps. What are the steps to be taken in writing a formal letter? So let's begin to look at those definite steps you should take when writing a formal letter. Now, tip number 1, which is of course a definite step, is read the questions carefully. In the WAEC exam, you are usually given 4 or 5 different essay writing questions. So if you decide to pick formal letter writing question and respond to it, then you need to read that question carefully to make sure that you know exactly what you are asked to write. Now, in the 2019 West African Senior School Certificate Examination English exam, for example, the formal letter, this is a typo. The formal letter question was as follows. Okay, take note, is a formal letter, not informal. Okay. So let's cancel this, okay? Okay, so that's exactly what it is, okay? A friend of yours was involved in a fight that took place in school and has been expelled by the school authorities. In a letter to your principal, give an account of the fight and why you think your friend should not have been expelled. Okay, so this letter featured in the 2019 West African Senior School Certificate Examination. Okay, and we want to illustrate with it. We want to, you know, use it as illustration just to show you exactly how you can write such a letter. So tip number 2, plan your letter, you know, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Everything that, you know, is worth doing requires to be well planned, okay? Now, before you start writing your letter, take a few minutes to plan what you want to say. This is important. This will help you to organize your thoughts and ensure that your letter is well structured. Okay, so that's exactly important. Tip number 3, address the recipient appropriately. This is important. Okay, it's important to address the recipient appropriately. In this case, you are writing to the principal, so you should start your letter with dear principal or dear sir. You know, you need to address the recipient appropriately and make sure, of course, that you use a formal salutation to show respect. If you look at different types of salutations or greetings, you know, you can use dear Taylor in other types of writing, not formal letter. Dear Mrs. Brown can be a semi-formal letter, you know, but specifically when writing a formal letter, my advice is that you should stick to dear sir or dear madam, okay? Having said that, let's now go to tip number 4, and that is the introduction. Of course, the next tip is to, you know, provide a concise introduction that captures the purpose of your letter. Begin by stating who you are and your relationship with the friend involved in the fight. You may not necessarily need to introduce yourself as a student. Of course, you will write your name eventually, but it's important that you go straight to the point because this is a formal letter, okay? So you can also mention the incident briefly to set the context for your argument. Since it is about the fight, then your letter should, you know, begin with it right away. Another name for a formal letter is a business letter. It is business-like in tone. You go straight to the purpose of the letter. Now, tip number 5, provide a detailed account. You know, at this juncture, you need to provide a detailed account of the fight because that's what the letter is all about. So you need to describe what happened, including the individuals involved, the circumstances leading to the fight, and any relevant details. And then you need to be objective and avoid the exaggeration of personal bias, okay? Tip number 6, explain why the expulsion is not justified, because that's part of the content required in that question. You are to explain why your friends shouldn't have been expelled. So now, the crucial part of your letter is explaining why you believe your friends should not have been expelled. This is where you present your arguments and supporting evidence. Think about the consequences of the fight and whether expulsion is a fair punishment, okay? So this is really, really very important. Now, you need to consider factors such as intent, previous behavior, and the potential for rehabilitation, okay? Now, tip number 7, use formal language because that's exactly the language of a formal letter. So the next tip is to use formal language throughout your letter. You need to avoid slang, contractions, or overly casual expressions. Keep your tone respectful and professional. That's what is important. Tip number 8, end your letter with a clear call to action. Now, the purpose of a formal letter is usually to request the recipient, who usually is occupying an official position, to use their offices to grant a definite request. So make sure to end your letter with a clear call to action on the part of the recipient. And don't forget to use polite expressions. Tip number 9, proofread your letter. Make sure to cross-check the truthfulness and correctness of your content, and make sure your writing is free from errors in all areas. Now, this brings us to the sample letter. Now that we have gone through the tips, let's put them into practice by looking at a sample letter responding to a prompt, okay? Pay attention to how the tips are applied to the letter. This is important. So you begin with your own address as the writer, for example, 20 Kano Street, Ojo, Lagos State, then followed by the date, June 20, 2023, then the receiver's official designation and address, the principal, Sabo High School, Ojo, Lagos State. Then the next will be the salutation, dear principal or dear sir. Then followed by the title of the letter or the topic or the subject matter. And in this case, appeal for the reconsideration of Olu Joseph's expulsion. This Olu Joseph is your friend's name, the name of your friend who has been expelled, and you are appealing that that expulsion be reconsidered. Now let's begin. I am writing to appeal for the reconsideration of the expulsion of my dear friend Olu Joseph, who was recently involved in a fight on the school premises. To provide you with a comprehensive account of the incident, I would like to outline the events as they unfolded. On the 10th of June, during the lunch break, a disagreement arose between Olu Joseph and another student, Ayo Henry, regarding whose turn it was to play tennis. The situation escalated quickly, leading to a physical altercation between the two parties. You see, you have provided you have given the background information, okay, which is important. Then in the next paragraph, While the fight itself is regrettable and unacceptable, I believe that expulsion is not a justified response in this particular case. Allow me to present my arguments for your reconsideration. You see, you have stated categorically that the expulsion is not justified, and you want to give reasons. Firstly, it is important to note that this incident was an isolated occurrence and does not reflect my friend's character as a whole. Prior to this incident, my friend has always been known for his peaceful nature and respectful behavior towards both students and teachers. It is evident that this fight was an anomaly in their otherwise exemplary record. Secondly, the circumstances surrounding the fight should be taken into account. From what I gathered, the disagreement between my friend and the other student was fueled by a momentary lapse in judgment and a misunderstanding of the situation. It was an unfortunate and spontaneous outburst rather than a premeditated act of violence. Therefore, it is crucial to consider the intent behind the fight and assess whether expulsion is a proportionate response. Moreover, I believe that this incident presents an opportunity for growth and learning rather than a reason for permanent expulsion. By allowing my friend to remain in school, appropriate disciplinary measures can be implemented, such as mandatory counseling sessions or community service, which will help him understand the gravity of his actions and develop a deeper sense of responsibility. This approach promotes rehabilitation and personal development, ensuring that my friend learns from this experience and becomes a better member of our school community. Now, this brings us to the conclusion of the letter. In conclusion, I request you to kindly reconsider the decision to expel my friend Olu Joseph. While I acknowledge the seriousness of the fight, I firmly believe that expulsion is an excessively severe punishment for a first-time offense, particularly considering my friend's overall positive behavior and potential for growth. I trust in your wisdom and fair judgment to reassess this situation and find a more suitable disciplinary measure that encourages growth and supports my friend's reintegration into the school community. All right? Thank you for your attention and understanding. I look forward to a positive resolution of this matter. Now, the next thing is simply the closing greeting, that is the subscription. Yours faithfully, followed by your signature and then your full name, Bamidele Mark. This is exactly, what a formal letter should look like. So this is quite excellent. You have now seen a sample letter that effectively responds to the given prompt, okay? You have also seen that it incorporates the tips we discussed earlier, such as addressing the recipient appropriately, providing a concise introduction, giving a detailed account of the incident, explaining why expulsion is not justified, using formal language, and maintaining a clear structure. Remember, when writing your own formal letter, take your time to plan your ideas, organize them logically, and proofread your letter for any grammatical or spelling errors before submitting it. Okay? So this is really very important. This will ensure that your response is well structured, coherent, and persuasive. Okay? Now it's time for you to practice writing your own response to the prompt. Use the tips we discussed, refer to the sample letter as a guide, and craft a compelling argument supporting your friend's case. Okay? So that's the end. This has brought us to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed the class. If you did, make sure you like the video and share it with your friends and relations. If you have any comments, any questions or suggestions, kindly leave them in the comments below. See you in the next class. Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. See you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you in the new video.